Yo, what's going on, man? Welcome back to my channel. If you're here for the first time, welcome to my channel. My name's Assam from dopelifecoaching.com, and today I'm going to be talking about what not to do if you've been broken up with. Now, if it's your first time on my channel, man, and you want consistent updates on similar content just like this, as always, do yourself a favor and hit the subscribe button, and also hit the bell icon so you do not miss a single thing in the future. All right, man, so there was a client of mine just a few days ago who's been broken up with by his girl. They were together for a few months, and he's asking me, Coach, she broke up with me recently, and I want to know, what should I do or say to get her back? Now, here's the problem with that question. The fact that my client believed that there was something that he had to do outside of himself or say just to get her back, kind of like a magic pill, that's the wrong question, because that takes away from the fact that the main reason why anyone would break up with anyone is due primarily to a loss of emotional attraction. If a woman lost emotional attraction for you, not physical attraction, because more than likely the physical attraction is not the problem. If she didn't find you physically attractive, she probably wouldn't have been with you in the first place. Unless you gained like 50, 100 pounds maybe, which most likely don't fall in that category. But for some reason, there was a loss of emotional attraction. Now, going out of your way, trying to say something clever or do something clever or get her jealous or take a picture with like 10 girls to get her jealous, which by the way is extremely immature and just goes to show you how immature you are, which would make the other person, aka the girl, not want you back. So none of those things work. And here's what I want you to do. If you've been broken up with, and by the way, this is for the women watching, if there are any women watching, if you've been broken up with, the number one thing you should do is accept the breakup and respect it. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can't respect it. You tell them, listen, this breakup is not what I want. It's going to hurt me, but you know what? I respect your decision. You have to respect their decision, because think about it this way. If someone wants to break up with you and you kind of want to latch onto them like, no, you have to stay with me, that's going to make you come off as kind of emotionally and mentally unstable. If someone, for example, is at your house and you tell them that you're going to have to go to sleep, so you politely ask them to leave. Obviously not by just telling them leave, you say it politely. Now, if that person, instead of accepting and respecting what you wished for, instead of leaving respectfully, they told you, no, I'm staying, I want to stay with you. You're going to be like, what? This person's unstable somehow. This is kind of weird. And it should feel kind of weird to you. Similarly, if someone wants to break up with you, you should take that as a sign that their emotional attraction fell for whatever reason, and then allow them to leave you, to break up with you. Give them the breakup. Don't reject it, give it. And like I said again, just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can't respect it. You should respect it, because that's the emotionally mature thing to do. Another thing you absolutely shouldn't do if you've been broken up with is to talk about that girl with her friends. That's the worst thing that you could do, because then that just screams insecurity, and it basically is another way of saying, I want this girl back. Do you know what she's up to? Do you know if she found anyone else? And this applies for the women watching too. If they've been broken up with by a guy, how's he doing? What else is he doing behind my back? Is he a bad person? It just comes off as weird. In a way, it's kind of like a manipulation tactic. It's kind of like you're secretly asking how they're doing without them knowing, because you want to know if they've moved on without you, or you want to know if they're seeing someone else, or you kind of want to force them back into your life. That screams insecurity, and you shouldn't do that. Instead, if that girl's friends just happen to talk about her, take it politely. Be like, oh, that's great to hear. I'm happy to hear that, whatever. But don't go out there asking her friends about how she's doing, because again, it doesn't make you look emotionally mature and mentally stable. It makes it seem that you're kind of desperately wanting to get her back, and desperation will always kill attraction, whether you're a guy or a girl watching this. At the end of the day, guys, here's what I want to say. We all want to be in a relationship with someone who wants us a lot, like really craves us, but doesn't need us to the point where their whole life depends on us. If your happiness is dependent on some girl, or if some girl's happiness is dependent upon you, that's a turnoff. That's not healthy. That person should be happy, whole, and complete without you, and you should be happy, whole, and complete without that person. So if she broke up with you, and you're kind of begging and pleading for her back, you're basically subcommunicating that I'm not happy, whole, and complete without you, and you are my entire world, you are my entire life, and there's nothing else in my life going on besides you. Which just screams that it's a huge turnoff, and it screams insecurity. And also, it verifies to the girl that the breakup was the right thing to do. Because then when you're begging and pleading for her back, she goes, this is exactly why I don't want you. Obviously, she says it internally. Another thing you should not do back, if you've broken up with, is reach out to that girl. The reason why you should not do this is because, again, it screams that you're desperate and that you're validating them even though they're not in your life anymore. Instead of that, you should allow them to miss you, and you should allow them to explore life without you and to fill that void of life without you, that void of happiness without you. And you only reach out to them, you only message them if they message you first. Because at the end of the day, man, in this case, if you're the one who's been broken up with, you're not going to verify her decision, like I just said earlier, for breaking up with you, because then if you reach out to her, again, that's subcommunicating that you can't live without her, and you're kind of begging and pleading. So instead, when she reaches out, then you reach out to her. Because if you reach out to her, she's going to be like, this is exactly why I left him. He's so needy, he can't live without me. I'm his whole world. Which screams desperation and insecurity, which are both killers of attraction. Another thing that you absolutely should not do after you've been broken up with is subtly communicate that you're upset about the breakup on your social media, again, to her friends, or any of that stuff, sharing sad posts, sad stories, and living like a victim. Instead, what you should do is level up. You move on and you level up. When you start leveling up and doing things that are better for you genuinely, you're gonna start forgetting about her, number one. And number two, as the days and weeks go on, or maybe even months, depending how long the relationship was, she's more than likely going to miss you. And if she starts missing you enough to the point where it turns into preoccupation and desperation, where she has to reach out to you because you're not reaching out to her, then there's a chance of something, developing after that. So whatever you do, do not reach out to this girl unless she reaches out to you first, because she broke up with you and she ended the terms of the relationship when it's not something that you wanted. And also, here's another powerful point that I probably should have discussed earlier. Apply no contact, which means you do not contact this girl, you don't message them, you don't text them, you don't like their social media posts, you don't do any of that stuff. Completely, you do none of that stuff. So that you can detox from this person because it's healthy. Ideally, it's healthy for both of you guys. And you let that person miss you. And just like I said earlier, as the days, weeks, and maybe months, depending how long the relationship was, as they go on, that person is more than likely going to miss you, and there's a good chance that they're going to reach out to you because now they feel like you're more attractive. You don't necessarily need them in your life anymore. You're doing greater things without them. And non-neediness, guys, is super attractive. Now, I don't want you guys to convince non-neediness with not wanting someone. If you want someone, you will go above and beyond to make them happy. You will go above and beyond to show that you're interested in them. You would take them out. You would make time for them even if you're super busy. But there's a difference between wanting and needing. If you really need someone, that just means that your happiness depends upon that person. If that person pulls away from you for a few days, you're gonna hit rock bottom. Instead, what's super attractive is you're doing great with this person, with this girl, but you're just as good without her. Sure, she's a great addition to your life, but she's not you. She doesn't complete you. You are happy, whole, and complete by yourself. That's what you should be. And she's hopefully happy, whole, and complete by herself. And together you guys share that and you create something amazing out of that to help each other grow. Not to depend upon one another entirely. Sure, there are exceptions to every rule, like if you're sick or if she's sick, or one of you guys are physically injured, God forbid. But for the most part, emotionally and mentally speaking, you shouldn't have to depend upon her. And by the same token, she shouldn't have to depend upon you. And that could very well be the reason why she broke up with you, if you're in that position. Because I really want you to understand this, man. No one voluntarily breaks up with someone. The reason why people break up with other people is because there's a drop of emotional attraction. We can't help if we're attracted to someone or if someone turned us off a little bit emotionally. And I don't want you taking this the wrong way either, dude. You're human. At the end of the day, you make mistakes. But what's more important is that you learn from this. Maybe you were too needy in this relationship. Maybe you got complacent. Maybe you made her your whole happiness and you ignored your own self. your own fitness goals, whatever other goals you have in your life. At the end of the day, no one wants to voluntarily break up with you, and most of us are good-hearted people. Most people, I would say, at the core at least. At least at the core. We don't want to hurt people. We don't want to just break up with people because one day we woke up, we were like, oh, I don't like you anymore. I want to break up with you. I guarantee you that's not how she felt, because she's not a robot. She felt this way because whatever happened over the course of days, weeks, and maybe even months, she felt like she was losing that emotional attraction. And that emotional attraction caused her to eventually break up with you because she felt that it was right. Not thought. She felt it was right. So you have to put yourself in her shoes, dude. You have to understand why she wanted to end the relationship. But if you do apply the things that I just discussed in this video, it's really likely that it's either number one, going to work in your favor, or number two, you'll move on without her and become a more happy, whole, and complete person by yourself and attract an even better person in your life. So it's just a win-win situation, dude. Alright guys, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you show your support by smashing that thumbs up button. I'd always appreciate it a lot. And also, if you want consistent updates on similar content just like this, as always, do yourselves a favor and hit the subscribe button, and also hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single thing in the future. Comment down in the comment section below for future videos or ideas that you'd like me to cover. And like always, I'd be way more than happy to cover them. Go to my website, www.dopelifecoaching.com. We still have free consultations for first timers, dude, so make sure you take advantage of that offer. Now that's about it, man. You go out there, you detox from this person, work on yourself, give them the space, respect the breakup, doesn't mean you have to like it, but respect it, and watch the awesome stuff that will happen regardless of this person in your life. You got this, man. I'm outie. Peace.